رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له خلق الإنسان علمه البيان وخلق الشمس والقمر بالحسبان والأرض وضعها ووضع الميزان وأنزل من السماء ماء فأحيا به الأرض بعد موتها وكذلك تنشرون وهو الأول وهو الآخر وهو الظاهر وهو الباطن وهو على كل شيء قدير وهو السميع البصير وإليه المصير. وأشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا وحبيبنا ونبينا وشفيعنا ومعلمنا وقائدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين أرسله الله بشيرا ونذيرا وشاهدا ونذيرا، فلقد أدى الأمانة وبلغ الرسالة ونصح الأمة وكشف الغمة وجاهد في سبيل ربه حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين. فاللهم اجزه عنا وعن والدينا عن أمة المسلمين خير من جزيت به نبينا عن أمته ورسولنا عن قومه وأوردنا حوضه واشربنا من يده الكريمة الشريفة شربة لا نظمأ بعدها أبدا وادخلنا مدخله كما أمنا به ولم نرى. اللهم آمين اللهم آمين اللهم آمين. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of love and care for the believers, those who have said La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, those who have accepted Islam as a way of life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them, Ya أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته. Protect yourself the proper way from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the best protection is to obey Allah and to do whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have told us to do, and to abstain from whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have told us to abstain from. And Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu, when he defined taqwa, he said, الخوف من الجليل والعمل بالتنزيل والاستعداد للرحيل. Fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this is a different fear. This is fearing not to upset Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or fear not to get the approval of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. والعمل بالتنزيل is to apply Quran and the Sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not just to read it, not just to memorize it, but to apply it in our daily life. والاستعداد للرحيل. One should be prepared to leave this dunya and go to the next one. Everybody wants to go to Jannah. But do we really know how we're going to get to Jannah physically? We have to die first. We can't go to Jannah alive. We have to die and then to be resurrected. And guess what happened when we die? As soon as we die, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيدٌ. When we give the last breath, our sight will be so sharp that we can see our place, and inshallah I'm going to be in Jannah. But also we're going to see the levels of Jannah. There is the south side of Jannah, and there is the north side of Jannah, and there is the uptown of Jannah. And at that time, guess what every one of us will say, with no exceptions. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتيكم الموت. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Ya believers, oh you believe, spend from whatever we gave you, not yours, from whatever we gave you, before death come to you." And at that time when death come to us, one will say, فيقول ربي لولا أخرتني إلى أجل قريب فأصدق وأكون من الصالحين. One will say, "Oh Allah, can you just send me back for a few minutes so I can do more sadaqah and more charities, and I be among those who are salihin." One is not going to say, "Well, let me go back to fast what I didn't fast." One is not going to say, "Let me go back to pray more than I prayed." And the reason is the amount and the reward that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us in Jannah is beyond the imagination. That's why we don't teach our kids about Jannah. We teach him about being a doctor. He's going to make a lot of money. Be an engineer, be an IT, be this, be that, and show him the big house here and the big house there. And that's what we remind. But do we remind him about Jannah? Because Jannah is a completely different dimension. As the Rasul said, no eye have seen, no ear have heard, and no heart have even dreamt of. In the same surah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have told us about Siyam and ordained Siyam on us, He tells us the magnitude of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's dealing with us. مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة. Whoever and whatever we spend in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like a simple seed, just a tiny little seed, no one can even see it. أنبتت سبع سنابل. You put it in the ground, a corn seed, just a little one. It will give a plant, and the plant will have 7 ears. في كل سنبلة 100 حبة. In every ear there is 100 seeds. So 7 times 100, that's 700. والله يضاعف لمن يشاء. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will multiply to whomever He wants. And the multiplication now is going to give him 701. No. The multiplication is the 700 is going to be 1400, it's going to be 2800, and go on and on and on. Which means what? Is dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For every dollar that we deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is at least $700 in our bank with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's when we get into Jannah, and not only when we get into Jannah, when we just close our eyes and give our last breath, we're going to see our place where it is. And we're going to say, oh man, look at Muhammad. I know. I wish I was doing like him. And he will see, where is he? Is maybe 100 miles above. And his gardens are maybe millions of acres around. And the reason is, he just did an extra $2. Just extra $2. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't really, you know, let me put it in today's dollars. About 8 years ago, I had a heart problem. And I went to the doctor, and he said, we have to open you. We have to fix your heart. He cut me up, opened the chest, took the heart out, fixed the arteries, and put it back. Guess how much it was costing? $150,000. And it's not replacing the heart. It's not replacing the arteries. It's just plumbing's business. Taking the artery out, take the junk out, put them together, and put it back. Can you imagine? What about the heart? What about the kidney? What about the finger? What about a nail? What about the hair? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us all of this. And that's all the money in the world wouldn't pay for it. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows we are human beings. And we have weaknesses here and there. So He addresses us in a different tones. So those regulars, He will say, مَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يُقْرِضُ اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا? Who will lend Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a beautiful loan? فَيُضَاعِفُ لَهُ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will multiply it back. Those who think that they earn the money because they work hard, they spend 10 or 15 hours a day hustling here and hustling there, and they get the money. They don't know that there are people who hustle 20 hours a day and they get nothing at the end of the day. And there are people who just hustle 2 hours a day and they get a bunch of money. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala way of distributing and testing us. But those that the muttaqeen and those the mu'mineen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described them, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. From whatever we gave them, they spend. They know it's not my money. It's like you sending somebody to buy things for you. You give him the money and said, buy this, and this. Yes, they're going to do their best to buy it at the best price. But they're not going to go and say, well, I'm not going to give you this money, but if I give it to you, you have to give me back. Look at the different thing. Everything we buy here in the state of Minnesota, we have to pay what? Sales tax. I know in California it's almost 10%. In Chicago area is about 7%. And I'm sure here it's about 6%. Have you ever seen anybody arguing about paying the 6%? You pay for the goods, and then you pay another 6% on the top of the goods. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, I'm going to give you the goods, and I only want from you whatever you can. From my goods, not from your goods. You see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deal with us? But do we really deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the same way? I remember it was almost 40 years ago. I was in Europe during Ramadan, and I went to a masjid to pray Taraweeh, and it was close to the end of Ramadan. So they make an announcement about the Fitra Zakah, and it was at that time $5 per person. So one of the brothers came to me and said, I'll give you my Fitra and you give me your Fitra. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I know those people there at that time, they have a lot of kids. So I said, how many kids you got? He said, 12. I said, 12 and you and your wife, that's 14. Okay, $70? Yes, I'll take it. And he looked at me and said, and how many kids you got? At that time, I have only 2. He said, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Can you imagine we dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this manner? Can you imagine the same person goes to work and his colleague will tell him when time comes to take their paycheck, he said, I'll give you my paycheck and you give me your paycheck. Have you ever seen anybody asking people to give me your pay without? No, but with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the same question happens every year. Should I pay the 2.5% from the gross or from the net? But with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, believe it or not, anyone who does anything for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will look to the angel and say, look at my abd. Look, they are doing it. Even when we say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, we read the Fatiha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, they are glorifying me. They are thanking me. They're saying, Alhamdulillah. They are giving me a higher level by saying, Rabbil Alameen. And then when we say, Iyaka na'bud wa iyaka nasta'een, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, whatever you ask from now on, I'm going to give it to you. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. No wonder Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have called himself Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Ghafur, Al-Karim. Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. Ar-Rahim, the mercy giver to the believers. Al-Ghafur, the most forgiving. And Al-Karim, the most generous. We start our prayers by reciting Fatiha. And we say Bismillah. And which Allah? Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Right there. And then, if he's Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, then we should say, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? By doing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us to do. Can you believe every statistics comes from world organizations about the orphans and the refugees of the world? Muslims, orphans and refugees come to be 60+% of the world, refugees and orphans. Although the population of Muslims around the world is only 25-27%. This means what? We have a lot of orphans and we have a lot of refugees. And as we fast Ramadan, and we, especially in the summertime, where the day is long, and we feel that we really are suffering, and really we are hurting. And that's why you find out we dream about all kind of foods and what have you, and at the iftar time, you find all kind of food is there. And oh, you ask your wife, what did you do this? What about this? And we sit and eat, and we throw a lot of food in the garbage. But believe it or not, as we do that, there are a lot of Muslims that they are fasting the second and the third day without eating iftar or suhoor. One time I was trying to get an answer on something on one of the Islamic websites, and I found one of the people is asking, he said, what is the ruling in Islam for me that I don't really have iftar or I have anything to do for suhoor? How am I going to do my siyam? And he's not the only one. There are many. And here we are in America. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have blessed us with the best of the best of the best. We can walk and talk. We can build our masajid. We can even have our newspapers and our video and TV stations. And America have given us the best that they have. We can buy our best homes and best clothes and eat the best food and send our kids to the best schools. But what have we thought about our brothers and sisters in America and outside America? Because believe it or not, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't create us only to be good and merciful for Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have created us to be mercy to mankind. As a matter of fact, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam, which is our father, which you and me, he said, وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. He's not just going to be an engineer or a congressman or whatever. No, he's going to be Khalifa. He's going to take care of this world. He's going to make sure that everybody has a food to eat and have a house to live in and have a job to go to and have a vehicle to take him to the job and be secure in his house and be secure for his life and his family. This is our job. And for that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when inaugurated Adam alayhi salam, he didn't just call the angel and said, come and shake hands with Adam. Just to show who are we and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have created for. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ. He asked him to do sujood to Adam. Not just Salaam alaikum Adam or Takbir li Adam or MashaAllah Adam. No, sujood li Adam. And that's our job that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have created us for. No wonder Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he tells us, لَيْسَ مِنَّا, he's not one of us, who will sleep with full belly and his neighbor is hungry. No wonder Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ارحموا من في الأرض يرحمكم من في السماء. Have mercy on those on earth, so Allah will have mercy on you. Allah في عون العبد ما زال العبد في عون أخيه. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be helping those who help each other. Alhamdulillah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called himself Al-Ghafur, the one who forgive and the most forgiving. To the extent that when the kuffar challenged Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and told him, if God is real God, let him punish us or throw rocks on us. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Al-Ghafur Rahim said that he will never punish them as long as the Rasul was among them, and he will never punish them as long as they ask for forgiveness. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروا الله إن الله يحب المستغفرين ويحب التوابين ويحب المتطهرين. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة العالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. I know that you have to rush out to go to work, so I'm gonna come to the end and to the punchline. The punchline is, I come to you today representing Life for Relief and Development. And I have been here before, and you have been so generous taking care of your brothers and sisters everywhere around the world. Today, we have an urgent need to help our brothers and sisters in Gaza. They are being killed, they are being tortured, and not only that, there is a big plan that they want to destroy them totally. As a matter of fact, our president said that he will support Israel with $30 billion and with all the arms so he can wipe Gaza and Palestine. This is not my words, it's his words. And guess where the $30 billion comes from? From your taxes and my taxes. So today, inshallah, we're going to take some of this tax money, instead of sending it to Israel, and sending it to our brothers in Gaza. It takes $55 a month for an orphan to take care of their food and clothing and education. It takes $150 for a family of 5 to eat for a month, which is not much. So inshallah, I know you have to run to work, but in the meantime, there's boxes out there, and there is flyers here, pledge cards. You can pay cash, you can pay with your credit card, you can write a check, but at least everyone here today should take care of one orphan and one family if possible, or at least one family or one orphan. $55 or $150. Or if you want to take care of an orphan for a year, that's $660. Or you want to take care of a family for a year, that's $1,800, which is not much. Look at $150 a month for a family. It means what? $3, $5 a day. $5 a day doesn't even buy a gallon and a half of gas. Believe it or not, you coming to the masjid or going to work every day, you spend more than 2 or 3 gallons of gas. Means more than $5 to $10 every day only on gas to go to work. And what do you get at the end of the day? You get a salary that hardly can make it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if you put the $3 or $5 with my account and my investment, you're going to see the return. And believe it or not, the return is not only in the day of judgment. The return is today. The sadaqah is security. The sadaqah is insurance. It protects ourselves. It protects us from accidents. It protects our kids from the evil around them. It protects us from sicknesses and illness. It protects us from everything in this dunya. And inshallah, will raise our level in Jannah. Allahumma ameen. Allahumma ameen. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك اللهم لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا برحمتك شر ما قضيت فإنك سبحانك تقضي بالحق ولا يقضى عليك ولا يعز من عاديت ولا يذل من واليت تباركت سبحانك وتعاليت. Oh Allah, we ask you to be among those that they love each other for your sake. Oh Allah, we ask you to make us among those that we take care of each other and every human being and everything on this planet Earth. Oh Allah, we ask you to help our brothers and sisters everywhere around the world that who are living under poverty and living under dictatorship and being killed by occupiers. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be with them. Oh Allah, please send your angels down to fight on their side. Oh Allah, we ask you to make us among those, inshallah, that we live as Muslimin, and when we die as mu'mineen, and when we meet in you, Allah, we'll meet you in La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking us something that He is doing it with the angels by saying, Inna Allah wa malaikata yusalluna ala nabi. يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه يزدكم ولذكر الله أعلى وأجل وأقم الصلاة.